All right, today we're talking about a huge shift happening in AI, a move that goes way beyond just trying to craft the perfect question. We're evolving from prompt engineering to something called context engineering. And you know what? It's all about giving AI the knowledge, the memory, and the tools it needs to go from being a simple chatbot to a true partner. Let's dive in.
I love this quote because it nails it. We're shifting our whole mindset. We're moving away from just being the person asking a good question, and we're becoming the librarian, the one who curates the entire library and gives the AI all the right books before it even starts to think.
And you remember this, right? It feels like it was just yesterday. The whole internet was buzzing about the prompt engineering gold rush. We all saw those crazy headlines. Job postings with these massive six-figure salaries for people who could basically speak fluent LLM. It really felt like the new frontier. And at its core, that's what prompt engineering is all about. It's the craft of designing that perfect instruction to get the perfect answer. It was, for sure, our first big breakthrough in learning how to talk to these machines. But as we're about to see, it has some pretty serious limits.
Because what happens when a single, perfectly worded question just isn't going to cut it? What happens when the AI needs more than just a good instruction to actually get the job done? Okay, check this out. This example makes the difference so clear. On the left, you've got an AI with only a prompt. It gets a simple question and it gives a totally generic, kind of useless answer. But the AI on the right? Wow. It has context, it knows who you are, it can actually check your real calendar, and it doesn't just answer, it solves your problem. It suggests a new time and even sends the invite. That right there is the leap from a simple tool to a truly smart assistant.
So the problem with that first AI is pretty simple. It has zero situational awareness. It's powerful, sure, but it's basically operating in a vacuum. It has no idea what your schedule is, who your contacts are, or what you two were just talking about 5 minutes ago. For the AI, it's like it never happened.
So that leads to the really obvious question, right? What's the secret sauce here? What is it that elevates an AI from a basic chatbot to a seriously intelligent assistant? Well, the answer is context. This is where we shift our focus from just perfecting the question to engineering the entire universe of knowledge that the AI can draw from.
And that is the absolute core of context engineering. See, it's not about the prompt anymore. It's about building the whole system around the AI that gives it memory, that gives it access to current information, and gives it real-world tools. You're not just talking to it anymore, you're actually building its world.
This table breaks down that shift perfectly. With prompt engineering, your focus is all on the question, usually for just a single interaction. But with context engineering, the focus is on providing the knowledge for an ongoing, persistent relationship. The goal isn't just a better answer, it's better decision-making. It really is the difference between giving a film director a single line of instruction versus giving them the entire script, the character backstories, everything.
So how does this all actually work? I mean, what's inside the context engineer's toolkit that makes this all possible? Let's pop the hood and take a look.
It really boils down to three key things. The AI needs memory, so it can remember what you've talked about. It needs access to retrieved information, so it's not stuck in the past. And finally, it needs available tools, so it can actually do things in the real world. Let's break those down.
Okay, the way AI memory works is kind of wild. You got to think of it like that movie Memento. The AI is inherently forgetful. It forgets everything instantly. So, with every single new message you send, the system has to secretly pass the entire relevant conversation history back to it. It's a really clever trick that creates the illusion of a continuous conversation.
Next up is something called RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation. And this is basically how we give the AI an external brain. Instead of just relying on the old static data it was trained on, RAG lets the system go out, find relevant, up-to-date documents, and basically teach the AI on the spot, just in time to answer your question.
So here's how that plays out. You ask a question, something like, hey, what were our Q3 sales? The system then goes and finds the actual Q3 sales report from your company's database. It then bundles that report together with your original question and hands the whole package to the AI. And the result? The AI's answer is now based on hard, factual evidence, not just some guess from its general training.
And the final piece of this toolkit is tool calling. This is what lets the AI break out of the chat window and actually interact with the world. By giving it access to other programs, other APIs, it can suddenly do things like search the web for live info, send an email for you, or, like in our first example, actually book that meeting on your calendar. It stops being just a text generator and becomes an agent that can take real action.
So when you put all of this together, the memory, the retrieval, the tools, you see this fundamental evolution. We're moving from just talking to an AI to actually thinking with an AI.
And it's super important to get this. Context engineering isn't replacing prompt engineering, not at all. They work together. Think of it this way. You use context engineering to give the AI the entire library of books, and you use prompt engineering to tell it which page to read and how to think about it. The synergy between them is where the real magic happens.
And hey, this isn't just some theory. The results are measurable and they are significant. We're seeing a massive 54% improvement on performance benchmarks and a 32% jump in user satisfaction. That is the difference between a cool novelty and a tool you absolutely cannot live without.
And this isn't just a technical shift, it's a massive economic one. Just look at RAG technology alone. That's just one piece of this puzzle. That market is projected to explode from about $1 billion today to over $40 billion by 2035. This is where the innovation and the money is going.
So if you take just one thing away from all this, let it be this. The game is no longer about optimizing sentences. It's about optimizing knowledge. That is a fundamental leap. And it's what transforms a simple chatbot into a truly intelligent and adaptive partner. Which brings us to this final thought, and I think it just sums everything up perfectly. The first wave, the prompt engineering era, it taught us how to talk to AI. This next, much more powerful wave is teaching us how to truly think with AI. And that, well, that changes everything.